Rights. The whole concept of rights. Do human beings have rights? Where did the idea of rights come from? Could the idea of rights be helpful to us or harmful? These are questions we have to ask ourselves. Now, these days we hear a lot about rights, and everybody just assumes without question that we have rights. The Constitution says so, our government says so, we just assume so. However, as more and more rights seem to come to the forefront and we find that we have more and more rights, I began to be a little bit disturbed about this whole concept, and I began to do a little bit of research. And I came to the conclusion that the concept of rights did not come from the Bible. It did not come from any of the ancient documents. Rather, the whole concept of rights came from the Enlightenment. The Enlightenment was that period of history between the late 1600s and early 1700s when mankind thought that he could create something that was better than Christianity, and so the result was the concept of rights. And among the things the Enlightenment philosophers taught was that human beings have rights. This sounds great, sounds really good, and in fact hardly anybody questions it. However, I finally came to the conclusion that human beings have no rights. Shocking as it may sound, we really don't have rights. We have responsibilities. The Bible talks about 10 commandments. The Constitution talks about the Bill of Rights. Weirdly enough, both of them have the number 10. The 10 Commandments, the first 10 amendments to the Constitution, or the Bill of Rights. However, if we think about it more deeply, we might realize that, hey, what if our enemies got together and decided to invade the United States, take away everything we have, carry a bunch of us off as slaves? We could not claim that we have a right to not be slaves. We could not claim that we have a right to the property that we have. No, we have the responsibility to fight off our enemies. We have the responsibility to stand up for ourselves, but we have no rights to anything. We have responsibilities. A lot of our enemies in this world today do not recognize the concept of human rights. And if they win, the whole concept of rights goes out the window. Let's hope that the scenario I have dreamed up does not happen, but folk, I'm not going to tell you I think it's impossible. I think it is possible and might even be highly likely. The concept of rights leads us to a feeling of entitlement, that we're entitled to food, clothing, shelter, we're entitled to medical care, entitled to education, that we have entitlements. But folk, we have no entitlements. We have responsibilities.